Alright, so now we're going to start laying down the second brick, which is really the leadership part of it. So you can really figure out what kind of a leader you want to be, what exactly a leader is, especially in dealing with MLM and trying to bring leads into your business, but also training them to become great, business people and leaders themselves, to really start expanding that downline, really hone in the entire concept of having a successful MLM business. So the question right now is, one is, what exactly is a leader? And two, what are the characteristics of a leader, and are you able to learn them so you could really start honing down your own style to leadership? So those are what we're going to be addressing here, so you can really figure out, do you have leadership within you, so you can even, do you even need to learn leadership, and do you have the traits to even start learning leadership? Alright, to start off here, we're just going to go very, very simple with what leadership is. And leadership is simply the ability to be able to influence people. And it's really, once you have it down, it's an incredible competitive advantage. So, in today's, we're going to go over two parts of that competitive advantage. Okay, the short-term part of it is really to be able to inspire people for the long-term, actually, even though it kind of sounds contradictory. Okay, so the first part of this competitive advantage that we're going after with leadership is be able to influence people, and that's a big part of it. So influence. And what you're developing here is the ability to influence people for the big picture. So influence people beyond their concerns of what may or may not happen for them, but really be able to influence them to keep on striving for the bigger picture, which in the MLM case is really be able to influence them to say, you know what, you've got the potential to be able to do this, to be able to not only generate leads in the beginning to really start getting your confidence up, getting your comfort zone up, but also to be able to start generating those sales so you can see and feel the difference for what it's going to be, but also be able to have that long-term process of being able to duplicate the entire system of leadership to their own downline so they can really start getting that online business empire going. And beyond that is the second part of it. And the second part of it is to satisfy. You've got to be able to satisfy your followers. That's especially true with MLM. Again, it goes with the lead generation part of it, but especially satisfying that short-term ability for sales, but also that long-term ability for them to really have that confidence that they will be able to build this in the long run and be able to duplicate that system. So really what you're learning how to do is satisfying their need to be able to empower themselves to be able to be a competent business person by being a competent leader. And through that, which will kind of go step by step more in a later time with the main hub in my blog, is the difference between a transactional and a transformational leader. Being able to really hone down on when you need to be able to direct people, especially directing your downline to really kind of get it in gear and kind of get it together with the process and just doing day-to-day revenue generating activity. But with the transformational, being able to inspire them to go beyond their comfort zone. And through those two aspects of leadership, you really start to hone down the fundamentals of leadership, which is perceived as a leader, but also more importantly, being accepted as a leader. Once you get that standpoint, then you really truly have followers that believe in what you're doing and believe in you. So now what I'm going to do is go over some characteristics and traits done by two really big authority figures on leadership, and that's Jim Coos and Barry Posnet. And they did a great passage in 2008 about effective leadership in the changing world that we're living in. And that was from the Journal of Financial Services and Professionals. So a very, very legit passage that we're going to go over to really be able to help you understand how exactly to do this and what kind of traits are needed. And so in this study that they did, they really focused on the traits that were perceived as leaders, but more importantly, that were perceived instantly as a strong, competent leader. And there's four of them. There's honesty, forward-thinking, inspiring, and competent. There's three ways to do that to really be able to execute this within your own MLM. The first is selling the vision of yourself as a leader, but also selling the vision of the company that you're in. Doing those two things, really selling it on the features of what is important to your market, that's going to be a huge key for it. And going with that, you've got to be able to confront your leads' reality, because they're going to have some issues, they're going to have some problems, some struggles. So identifying those and being able to identify those immediately while you're selling yourself as a leader, that's going to just add on to the value of it and really add on to that smooth transition of them actually going from a lead to a sale and actually being involved with your business. And the last part I feel is actually probably the most important part because it's the most powerful part of it. The first part of it is understanding your leads well enough to understand the questions they're going to raise ahead of time. So you can go ahead and just, run along with understanding the realities of their concerns, just knowing those ahead of time so that there's no hesitation, there's a lot of confidence, and there's a lot of comfort level while you're answering those questions. But more importantly, and actually I really enjoy this one too, is asking them those kind of should ask questions. There are going to be a lot of commonly asked questions that they're going to come at you with, but just really plugging their brain, making them think about what they're doing and giving them some really should ask questions that are really the right questions so that you can really get down to what your lead needs. The more you can really have it to be about them and what they're looking for and whether or not it's right for you, that's really going to be more of a pull strategy, and that's really going to help you be able to convert the lead. So make sure you go to my blog for more step-by-step help about leadership, and there I'll show you a platform that'll take you step by step through how to have the mindset of a professional leader so that you're able to really start attracting quality leads to your business.